Okay, let's try that again. Happy Tuesday. It's me, Rochelle from VFit Studio, logging in today. Look, it is a beautiful day. I know there's snow on the mountains behind me, but the sun is shining and it's nice, and I'm in shorts, and it's the middle of November. But I'm here. One of my goals, and this is actually good, goes good with today's subject about your schedule doesn't lie. One of my goals has been to come into Facebook and Instagram once a week and just share something on my heart, something that can help you grow in your health and wellness, basically your mind, body, and spirit, because they're all connected. And each of us has a unique purpose in life and something that is built only for us. And to truly harness that and live your best potential, you have to be in alignment, mind, body, and spirit. And that takes taking care of yourself. So today's talk is about your schedule. And this has come up several times in different readings, different books I've read, and different podcasts. I've heard it said a few different ways. But the bottom line is your schedule doesn't lie. And what that means, and that's why I asked the question, does your schedule lie? Because I think it's important to sit down and ask yourself an honest question, like, is what I'm saying is important to me lining up with what I'm actually doing and filling my schedule with every day? Are those two things in conjunction with each other? Meaning, I doubt there's a single person on earth that says, I don't want to be healthy. I'd love to be out of shape. I love to feel bad and eat horrible food and feel like I'm just treading water every day. That's the life I want. No, everyone would say, I want to be healthy. I want to feel good. I want to eat well. I want to move my body. But then if you look, there's a majority of people out there that are not doing that. They're in survival mode. They're in excuse mode. They're in overwhelm mode. And yes, the last 2 years have put everyone through the ringer. And we can't use that. We couldn't use that as an excuse before, and we can't now. And this is such a beautiful time, because if the last 2 years, 18 months, when everything just came to a screeching halt, have taught us anything, it's that we get a do-over. We get to decide what matters, what doesn't, who matters, what doesn't. It's easier to walk away from things. And so today I want to give you four. I was coming with three, but I did it on Instagram, and I had a fourth tip. Four things. So it's one thing to know, okay, you're right. Like, what I'm saying is important to me. Family time, your health, those things. If you ask me my core values, list your core values, and then have a look at your schedule. And if those things are not lining up, and you're like, okay, I'm filling my days with things that have nothing to do with what's important to me, or there's some sort of disconnect, then you need to figure out, how am I going to bridge that gap a little bit? And of course, you can't change certain things, like some jobs, some people you work with, like there's certain things out of your control, but I firmly believe there's much in your control. So the first tip is find people who are professionals in the area that you feel is important. Like, I have a life coach. I have a business coach. Those are important to me. Because my life coach helps me with my marriage and my family. My business coaches and mastermind team helps me to stay creative. I have my trainer team. I went and got my hair done yesterday by a professional, because I don't know how to do it myself, and it wouldn't look as good, and it would take more time. And so sometimes I think we discount investing. I hate to call something, if it brings more quality to your life, it is an investment. If it is like not doing you any good and you're paying for it, that could be an expense. And there are some expenses in life. But when it comes, please, one of my biggest pet peeves is like, my gym membership's an expense. Well, if you're not using it, it is. But if you are, it's like the best investment you could make. So if you need some help, hire a professional. Go seek professional. There's so many different levels of that. I really believe that is so important. Especially like at VFit, we can see our members. We know their names. Like, we care about them. Yes, you're paying a little bit more than a Beachbody or a Peloton subscription, but there's a real life connection. And to me, that's so valuable. So the second one, I heard this on a podcast this weekend. Trina Gray, Todd Durkin was interviewing her, two of my, look up to them highly. And she was talking about how one biggest thing that's helped her in the last year and a half, 2 years, is she's working to, I love this, get better at doing less. So soak that in. Can you get better at doing less? And I'm like, oh, that's so good, because what happened is when COVID hit, our world stopped. Like, everything was taken away, shut down, point blank. Like, we're in this tailspin and how to find our new purpose and place and schedules. And it was crazy, and it still is crazy. And then it seemed like things started to come back, right? Sports and events and travel. And so then everybody like went gung ho and like signed their kid up for, maybe you would let your kid do one or two sports at a time. I have three kids, so I have a very firm one thing at a time, because that's just important. Otherwise, we're running ourselves ragged. But I know so many people that their kids are in like everything possible right now. And it's hard as a parent. I know you want them to have experiences and to do all these things, but do they have to do it all at once? So kind of thinking through that with your schedule. Am I overbooking my kids, which is overbooking you usually because you're trying to get them to everything or be at everything? Same with work commitments. Are you saying yes to too many things? Are you overdoing? Like, can you look at your schedule and get better at less things? I want to be better at quality time with my family at night. I want to be better with a bedtime routine. I want to be better at keeping my strong morning routine. My morning routine sets a tone for my entire day. So that 30-45 minutes in the morning when I'm journaling and I'm praying and I'm reading, that is so important that I stay good and connected at that. And that means you might have to give up scrolling your phone at night, watching shows that, at some point, what can you give up to get better at these things? If you say your health and well-being is important, you better get better at that. You better get better at finding time for that, no matter the season of life, which I'll get into in a little bit. So get better at doing less. What can you eliminate so that you can pour more? Because we know how it is. We're trying to do it all. And then we're like, you have those days. I sure have. I didn't do anything. I did so much today, but I don't feel like I did. I wasn't present. I don't even remember it. I didn't do it well. Like you start going through that tailspin. So I think doing, being better at doing less. I just loved that idea. The next one is tell people, really important. Have people, and I mean people that like want the best for you, not like someone that has a vengeance and every time you talk to them, they're like giving you their fears and trying to pull you down and tell you why you shouldn't do that. I'm saying align yourself with people of common values and tell them like, hey, it's important to me to work out 3 days a week or 5 mornings a week. I need you to hold me accountable. Can you check in on me? Can you text me? At VFit, we have like so many groups that we have a lot of group challenges and try to team people up in smaller groups or with the trainers. And so that we know if you're there, right? You've logged in, you've signed up for your class. We can actually physically see that you've made it. So I love when I hear about members, like one of our members, Susan, this was going into daylight savings when it was still really dark out, and she was having a hard time motivating in the morning. So she went to her team that she had just done a 100-day challenge with and said, hey, I know this challenge is over, but I still need you all to keep me motivated. Can you text me? Can you be there with me? And sure enough, together, they rallied, and like same thing's going on with our 5:30 a.m. classes. Like all of a sudden there's this like, I want to be there. Can you make sure I'm there? I'm going to be a morning person. Like when you have others to help guide you and check in with you, we're really easy as humans, and it's human nature to let ourselves down. That's okay to be like, oh, I got an excuse. I got busy. My kid got sick. This happened. But when our goals are tied to others, we're like, ooh, I think I can make it happen. For instance, we have a 6-month challenge we do. And we set up teams, and each person makes an individual goal. So everybody gets to set their own goal, which is important because your goal and someone else's, depending on life, it's going to be different. But in order to move on with your team each month, you have to hit your goal. So if you don't hit your goal, your team loses you off the team, and that's a big detriment to the team. So you're tying your individual goal to a team, and it's a game changer. This is the third year we've done it. This is over 6 months, and we see like 95% of people hit their goals for 6 months. It's pretty awesome. So tell people, ask them to check on you, ask them to ask you, like, because you're not going to be like, oh yeah, I was going to start working out and I still haven't. So that's important. And then the last one, this is very important that I don't think a lot of people think through, and I learned it myself, and that's why VFit was actually created, is check yourself, I should say. Check your like real life circumstances. What's going to work for you? Like, for example, I loved going to the gym. The gym was my second home. I taught at the gym. I started baby boot camp at the gym so I can bring my kids because we didn't have childcare. I like, for as long as I could, made every way to keep going to the gym. But then my life changed even more. I had 3 kids. We moved out of town. It became more of a chore to get to the gym. They started napping, their schedules, school. And all of a sudden I'm like, this, just because that's what I love and want to do, it's not realistic right now. So that's how VFit was created 6 years ago. It's like, well, how do I bring that to other people without having to leave their homes? plug right here. You're always welcome to try a week at VFit if you never have. We've got live classes, but you got to check yourself. Like, just because something always worked doesn't mean it's going to work right now. You might love your Orange Theory or your bar class, and that's awesome. Your studio, like those things are so important. But if you're only getting there once a week or once a month, like that's not working for you. It's not working out. Same thing. I had a friend this weekend tell me her Peloton bike, she's like, it's just collecting dust. The school year just started, and when things settle down, and I'm like, the school year did not just start. We're in November. We're like 2.5 months into the school year. Yeah, that doesn't seem like long, 2.5 months. But if you're using that excuse that like when things get better, it just started, like, no, you're 25% into the school year. Like, you've got to figure out something that's going to work for you. And so our brains are funny. Like, we can be like, oh, the school year just started. Like, let's get real. It did not just start. You're a quarter of the way in. And then what's next? The holidays. And then you have, oh gosh, daylight savings again. I mean, there's always going to be something. So you have to find, if that Peloton bike isn't motivating you to get on every day, if those on demands that you have to actually go up and press play and no one knows you're going to be there or what you're doing, some people find that highly motivating. But if you don't, there's other options out there. Like for me, that doesn't work either. So you've got to find what is realistic. If you want to eat better, like, are you meal planning? Are you prepping your food? Or are you just every day saying, I'll see what's in the refrigerator and I've already made 100 decisions and we're just going to go get takeout again? Like, are you actually arming yourself with something that's realistic for your current life situation? And I will tell you now, and you know this, and everyone can, like, it's never going to get easy. It's never going to be not busy. What is the test of if something is truly working for you is if it works when life is busy and off schedule and normal, because um I can't even remember the last time I had a normal. I don't even know what a normal week would be called anymore. Like, you just make it happen when it matters. Your schedule lines up with your values. So there's your 4 tips for today. Little tough loving, but I think we need it sometimes. And sometimes it's just changing the way we think about something, or we didn't realize, like, you know, aligning what we're actually doing with what matters and being okay with saying no. So to sum it up, find those that are professionals to help guide you. I really feel like that's so important in life. Things that are important, to align yourself with professionals who are passionate and also more educated on that. Like for workouts, like that's our jam. Like, we don't want you to think about what you have to do. We just want you to show up. We've done the work. We've done the education. Like, same thing. What was tip number 2? Was to then we had also tell somebody. We had align yourself with realistic situations and be better. This was tip number 2, but be better at less. So they're all important. I'm back inside now. Happy Tuesday. Bye.